You're listening to episode 90 of Fresh Floppies. Nailed it.
Oh,
What's
hey there.
it?
Hi. How's it going? What's up to our sidekicks and
henchfolk
henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're not going to mess me up. I'm going to get through it. A fresh floppy is God damn it. People are already pausing and leaving the show.
If anything, I think that they're endeared. I think that they're endeared by our candor.
What's up, our bottled cities of candor?
That's the one.
What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently listening to Fresh Floppies, a show wherein Noel and I, JD, talk about the books that are coming out today.
That's the one.
This week. New comic book day.
New comic book day, which is Wednesdays.
Yes.
So
many people come into my shop and they're like, "Oh, they still make these?" And I'm like, "Yeah, there's hundreds, so many books every week."
I was listening to a Scott Snyder interview yesterday. I think it was iFanboy was doing it.
Love those guys.
And he was talking about when he was on Batman, like being a normal author, like a prose author, a book author. Yeah. Being a national bestseller is like 30,000, 40,000 copies sold in a month. And when he was writing Batman, the readership was up to like 140, 150,000 per issue. So
really?
He was like, everyone is just like, nobody's paying attention to you in comics. But it's like, so many people read these more than anyone realizes. And it's nerve-wracking.
That's so, I had
no
idea.
Yeah, I
mean, the disparate numbers there. That's crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, also too, like there's a bunch of, let's say, politicians books.
Yeah.
That hey guys, Inside Baseball, about publication numbers that aren't comics. You're welcome.
Yeah. That's why you're here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why you're tuned in.
You're here for the vibes.
Yeah.
They will. I did an You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna keep calling them out so everyone does pause and leave. They will have their either constituents or from their campaign monies or from a PAC. They will pre-purchase
their own book,
thousands of copies of their own book for like signings and things to fabricate the
numbers.
New York Times bestseller list.
Fuck out of
because
here.
it like all of those pre-sales for like 6 months all get tallied on day one to be a number one. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Neat. That's very interesting inside baseball. Thank you.
So like when you see what is it? What's his name?
I don't know.
O'Reilly?
Oh yeah, that guy. Bill O'Reilly.
Bill? I wanted to say Ben. When you see Ben
O'Reilly, Ben.
When you see Bill O'Reilly's like 18th book about killing Jesus or something who reads this? What's going on? Like they're probably pre-purchased to like juice the numbers so it looks like he's still relevant.
That's so neat.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost as if money gets you everywhere.
It's so neat that everyone says comics are dying and yet they sell or they get more readers than bestseller novels.
If you think about it, like the number, so we're going to talk about Absoute Batman later, but yeah, they're selling like plus 100,000 copies a month and it's just getting higher. All of these Absoute books are absolutely crushing.
Yeah.
And each issue is selling more than national bestseller novels.
Wow. That's crazy. Anyway, hey, comics is why we're here. Floppies is what they're called occasionally if you're one of us.
What we just did is we validated the popularity of the hobby that you enjoy, and we're here to help guide you through what to pick up in the shop this week.
Yeah. We're going to start off with, since you brought it up.
Probably the biggest release of this week.
Absoute Flash. DC presents All In Absoute Flash #1 by Jeff Lemire and Nick Robles.
Nick MF and Robles.
Do we know Nick MF and Robles from anywhere?
Yes, but I'd have to look it up. Like I've seen him in his name before and stuff. Yeah, no.
No. We just keep chugging forward.
You start talking.
That's a phrase. Yeah. Chugging forward, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a choo-choo.
Like a choo-choo. Like a little choo-choo train. Absoute Flash in Of Two Worlds Part 1. So, listen, viewer. Noel and I both love all of them. Absoute books. And the ongoing joke here is the best Absoute book is the one we just read. Right? Does that maintain now that you've read Absoute Flash #1?
No.
Tell me why.
This is a good book. I think this is a solid book.
Yes.
it is also, it feels really safe.
Yeah. It's just it's a Flash book.
It's yeah.
Right? It's just Wally, it's Barry, it's
just
powers.
It's just a new Flash origin, I guess.
Yeah, this could have been an Earth 1.
Yeah, actually, you know what
Flash
this
Earth
does?
1?
This reads a lot like Earth 2.
I'm sorry, Earth 2. Thank you.
From Tom Taylor and Chris Robertson. James Robinson. Chris Robertson's
Earth
a different.
2.
Yeah.
Earth 2. I was talking about the Earth 1 graphic novels.
No,
You're talking about
this
the
reads
Earth,
like Earth
New
2.
52.
Yeah.
Earth 2.
Yeah, where they had the
JSA.
Wally West, or not the Wally West. Yeah, it was basically the JSA, but they were like in modern.
Mm-hmm.
This reads like that.
It does. It's not bad.
No,
I enjoyed it.
This is a perfectly cromulent Flash book.
It does crom.
It has all of the beats that you expect. It's got a narrative device that is not unfamiliar for anybody that's ever read the Flash before or seen any Flash media ever.
Mm-hmm.
There's maybe one or two little like redesigns that are pretty dope, but as to how they fit into the story so far, it feels just like it always does.
Yeah. It's a Flash book.
Yeah.
Which I like. I like a Flash book. I love a Wally West book.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in on all of these things. But I can't. I'm having trouble discerning why it doesn't feel the same as the other Absolute. And is it just because it's safe? There's no
you could be
crazy changes.
We could be proven wrong in subsequent issues, but the other three series so far, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Batman, and Absolute Superman, had they introduced a different thesis of the character. Like, this is like it's Wonder Woman, but she was raised in hell and comes from supernatural magic, not paradise. Batman, but he does not have the resources. He has to literally build them himself and has no safety net support system. And then Superman is he's a refugee child who experienced the biggest trauma in the world and decides to be a socialist warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Those are different theses. This is Army brat Wally West gets in an accident.
Yeah. That's the big changes that he's in army. He's like his dad is in the army. His
scientist for the army, right?
Yeah,
his
scientist for the army. His mom is dead, which is kind of par for the course these days.
For all Flashes to have a dead mom.
And then, he comes, hey, there's Barry. He's doing an experiment. Whoop, now I'm a Flash. Other than, I guess there are some changes here, i.e., Barry. Things do not go. Things go differently for Barry.
Yeah, there's stuff. It's there's also, this just feels like a normal. This is such a. I'm sorry. It's like I don't have the actual like vocabulary for it, but whereas the other Absolute series kind of slapped you in the face with, oh, I'm reading something different. Yeah. This is, it's just
slightly
it's a good Flash number one.
Yeah.
It's this is the same as New 52 feeling like, oh, you did the same thing, but you wanted to start over.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing, but you're starting over.
Yeah. But I can't. I want to express that this was still very good.
Nick
really
Robles' art
this.
is so stupid good. I actually really, really enjoy this art a lot.
Yeah, it's solid.
There's a couple of like really great like stuff that could be annoying is not. Like there are this Wally doesn't necessarily have a faculties of his speed at all times. So we have this really great kind of like yellow and red just takes over the whole page and becomes like breaks panels, dialogue laps over each other. That could be really, really annoying with another artist. Nick Robles just crushes it. And I looked it up. I think he did some JSA stuff, I think.
Okay.
Some covers. We've seen him before and I've heard his name before, but this is probably the first series of his that I've read.
Okay.
Lemire, I have no love for or against. Every time I read a Jeff Lemire book that's not about him growing up in Canada, it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like his horror stuff.
Which? Because I think I've tried everything and I don't necessarily care.
Oh, God, what? I have him over here.
Oh,
Gideon Falls. I like Gideon Falls a lot.
I can't get past the art.
Well, yeah.
What art?
Oof.
No, that was really rude. I'm not a giant fan of Sorrentino. Yeah, I'm not a giant fan of what did they call it? The style of the style of comic book art that was mostly pictures that were just kind of like manipulated and fabricated. And
does that have a name? I'm not sure. Collage.
It did. And whatever.
Tracing?
It feels static to me.
Yeah, it's very static.
So I just don't really enjoy it. This is it's fresh enough. It's pretty fresh.
I'd say pretty fresh for me.
I'm not a giant Flash fan. It's fine.
Yeah, I liked it more than you did for sure. I am a Flash fan, and I love Wally, so I'm in on it. And I think if you're enjoying the Absolute book so far, try it out.
There is nothing wrong with this.
No,
and the art really does take me there. But I don't know. I'm a what's the word I'm looking for? A victim of my own expectations in regards to this Absolute title.
Yeah,
and the preview pages in the back for Absolute Martian Manhunter. Mm-hmm. Let's effing go. This looks awesome.
Oh, I see.
But then I saw preview pages for Absolute Green Lantern, and I'm like, that's a big 2 book?
Really?
Okay.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I
haven't seen it.
So
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's next?
Last Day, Superman.
Oh, yeah.
Last Days of Lex Luthor, #2, written by Mark Waid with art by Brian Hitch, Kevin Nolan, and Barron.
Is it Mike Barron? Oh, it can't be Mike Barron, that guy.
No, he's
Never mind.
David Barron.
So
this is the second issue of the Black Label book by Mark Waid and Brian Hitch.
It came out.
If you don't remember, the first issue came out in, 2023?
Was it?
Yeah.
All I know is that, listen, the first issue came out so long ago that they reprinted the first issue last month so that you could jump on.
Yeah, there was, I know Hitch was working on this for a long time, but he also last year plopped out like 11 issues of Redcoat.
Yeah.
So this might have been juggled with that, and they just resolicited it. But yeah, the basic gist of the first issue, which is, as JD said, is still available.
Yeah.
Is that Lex Luthor is sick with some mysterious illness and posits to Superman, I bet you can't find a way to save me.
Yeah.
And Superman, being Superman, is like, shit.
All right.
I have to save you.
Yeah.
And Metropolis being like, nah, fam, let him die.
Yeah, there was a scene in the first book where he doesn't really have to convince Superman to save him, just convince him that he's on the level. Like, yeah, I'm dying and I'm coming to you because you're my last hope.
This be real.
The views change when you're faced with death. You know, I know I hate you and we're enemies, but and he's been broadcasting that entire conversation to the world, and the whole world is like, no, don't do that. Let him die. And so this has just been a bunch of different journeys through DC.
It's a tour through
Superman,
the DC universe.
Yeah.
Of
the Legion, the bottled city of Kandor.
Trying to find cures everywhere.
Yeah.
And if it found a conclusion, this would be the last issue, but it's not.
Yeah.
So what did you think about this book?
I'm on the Mark Waid train. I really enjoy everything that Mark Waid's been doing recently, and this is no exception. This just feels like really fun, really solid Superman Lex Luthor stuff. There's nothing in here that I was just like, that's not how that would happen. And it's really quite lovely. I like watching these two interact, and I like the end.
I think I do like this book. But for me, it's very close to straining credulity. Oh. Just very, very close.
Do you
Not
mean that
completely, but
how
very
no
close.
one can save Lex?
No.
Oh.
About the length with which Superman is going.
Oh.
I'm not saying he wouldn't try that hard. It's just every single time, every single new attempt, we have to have the same conversation. And it's just like, if the idea of saving Luthor is a great idea, but it keeps going to the point where I'm forced to think about it for 5 minutes longer than I probably should. And it's just like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like, I get it. You can't cure it. And then we did magic. We did this. And it just starts to strain a little bit. Whereas the purpose of the story, this story specifically, is a moral quandary, a thought experiment of you value all life, so will you save that of your enemy? Awesome. Maybe this would have served better as just like a really, really thick one shot, because like as it's going, I'm just like, okay, I get it. Get to the beat where you find out why you can't with all of these resources. Because like he takes him to the 31st century. Would you do that?
Right.
There's just
if I was Superman, yes.
and the person you don't trust at all. I don't know. It's some of it started to feel like, okay, okay. Like Mark Waid is showing the work, and I feel like the more he shows the work, the less plausible the moral quandary or interesting the moral quandary becomes.
Yeah.
You know, like speed round that part and let's get to the big beat at the end of this issue. Like it just it felt a little, you know, when you're sitting a little too long in the same water and you're like, I'm gonna move around. Like it just it started to feel a little bit stale, but then it slapped you with a really good ending. So like, I don't know. I really, really like this book. I really like this story, but the pacing gave me too much time to think about how far they're going. And I didn't want that.
To me, that's a perfect example of Mark Waid writing a Superman story, because at no point is Superman going to be like, well, can't cure this. I guess we'll just stop.
That's not what I'm saying or what I want. I'm talking about the.
And I'm enjoying the road.
We're repeating the same conversation over and over again. That's the part that I was like, we could skip these parts. Like, I think even towards the end of the book, they roll with a splash page.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
let's because he has the same conversation, and we get to actually there's one or two really cool parts in here in Themyscira, and it's a great book. I almost started to get antsy with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's good.
Have that. Yeah, I didn't have that reaction. I was just really enjoying the conversations between them. I didn't find it to be too repetitive. And I really like Kevin Nolan's inks on Brian Hitch's pencils.
Yeah,
I think it really works really well.
There's that great. When Hitch inks himself, sometimes there's that rubbery kind of feel to it. I did forget about, because I didn't reread the first issue you did. I did forget about the all of the Smallville stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's classic. That's Silver Age. Lex. I
did feel a way. We could talk about it off mic. I did feel a way about the little conversation at the end with Clark's internalized guilt. Like, really? Okay, all right, that's fair. But it felt like it came out of nowhere.
I see. My problem with that is I don't think he needs internalized guilt to do anything.
It's kind of what I'm saying. Like,
he's still without that guilt, he's still going to do what he's doing.
You've been holding that, and it feels pretty small. But I get it.
Yeah, he didn't create Lex, but
he didn't
let
not
him down.
Create Lex.
Yeah,
but
he let him down.
But that is just all internalized.
Yeah,
and then but it becoming like a large crux of the third act of this issue was just like, oh, okay, I can see that. So just give me the big bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's good, but is it like
All-Star Superman good?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like this wants to be an evergreen shelf story, and maybe when it's fully collected and I didn't wait 2 years between issues, it will be. But it started to wear a little bit on me mid-issue.
Okay, fair enough.
And it's probably just the jadedness of my readership. The fact that I've read versions of this story and versions of this moral quandary a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it might just be me, but either way, this is like well done for what it is. Does Mark Waid write bad books?
Not currently. I'll tell you, there's been a couple that I haven't sort of glommed onto.
Like what?
In God damn it. Inconceivable.
Incorruptible.
Incorruptible. Yeah. That one and the sister book to it.
Irredeemable, Incorruptible. They were both. They were good.
I heard that. Yeah. I got bored pretty quick. I think Last Days of Lex Luthor #2 is pretty fresh.
I think it's pretty fresh too.
All right.
What else is pretty fresh today?
You know what? It was kind of might be fresh AF. It's above pretty fresh for me, but not quite fresh AF. Is Zatanna.
The art is fresh AF. The script and story is pretty fresh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I like what Zatanna's going on. What she has going on. So Zatanna #2, DC Presents All In by Jamal Campbell. Yeah, he's doing the whole schlemiel.
He does the colors too.
Schlemazel. This is fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's another really solid Zatanna, hot off the heels of another really good Zatanna. And the fact that she's stumbling around with this sword, this mystical sword just plunged through her chest the entire book,
dope.
Which messes with all of her spell casting. And every time she casts a spell, all of these disembodied hands come grabbing for her. Very cool visuals. I'm really enjoying the story. I like her. I'm not super big onto all of the magic users in DC, but I like Zatanna. Like, I don't really care about the Blue Devil.
Oh, Blue Devil's cool. Xanadu's cool. We get some Detective Chimp in here. He's dope.
I don't know anything about Madame Xanadu. And in fact, they never call her Madame Xanadu. I forgot what her name was. They call her by her actual name. And I'm like, wait, who is this lady again? And she just does card readings, tarot type stuff.
Well,
I've never known anything about her as a character.
She's not unlike Zatanna in so much it's just like her avenue with spellcasting is cards, whereas Zatanna's his words.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
But other than that, I don't know.
My knowledge of them is 52 and Days of Vengeance, and pretty much all the stuff that happened during and after Infinite Crisis.
Yeah, same.
So I think that was enough. I mean,
but I just don't care about them.
Oh,
but I'm on for Zatanna's ride here. I like this.
Well, yeah, this is a fun book. The art's fantastic. I really do like the dagger or the giant sword. Just like last issue, this ends in what is constructed to be a cliffhanger, but it's just like a what? Okay. Like, there are types of cliffhangers where like, what? And then there are that are like, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Like, it's not a sting. It's more of like a yeah, that's I guess that's shocking. What did you think about this like last page?
I felt the same.
Reveal
like I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Totally a subjective thing. The idea of like when you have a cliffhanger in a book, if it's going to hit you like a cliffhanger or if it's going to hit you like a where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
And this is a little bit more the latter of like, where the fuck did that come from? But I do appreciate that all of the titles of the issues are backwards.
Yes.
Pulled under or Delup Renew. Yeah. The art's awesome. The story is fun and fine. His panel layout is always just crazy to watch and really fun. Like, gun to my head, I was enjoying Bring Down the House at this point exponentially more. But I love Zatanna. I love Jamal Campbell. And this is just a good read.
I hope John shows up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going through the whole DC universe at this point. Maybe like somewhere in the third act, maybe he'll show up. But I mean, if you're reading this, you're having a good time. But it's not wowing me.
Okay.
Yeah, the art wows me.
Oh, the art. Yeah, Jamal Campbell's so good.
Yeah, and also too, like, just Jamal Campbell should follow his muse, because everything he does is fantastic. I've never read anything else written by him before, but this might just be like a drawer story that he wants to get out, and that's fucking great. I like it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I found myself going, oh, I like that Jamal Campbell is writing because this is going very well.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, so let me get that. It is, the pacing is great, construction is great, everything about how he writes is incredibly proficient. It's the story beats that aren't dragging me. This is not I should have clarified that. This is not an instance where like an artist is trying to write and it's okay. No, this is just the story feels mildly familiar and kind of like, pedestrian's not the right word. More like, oh, that's cool. That's nice. Like nothing's shocking me or surprising me into the next beat. It's just kind of falling forward. And I hope that changes because everything else about this book is just rad as hell. Yeah,
my only thing was at the end, I was like, oh, okay. That's our cliffhanger.
That's basically been my experience. Like, cool. Oh, okay. Cool. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's fine. This is a great middle of the stack book.
Yes.
Not a top of the stack, not a...
Yeah.
I guess I should read the 6th issue, bottom of the stack. This is a mid-stack of, like, keep me going.
Yeah, especially if you're a Zatanna fan. For sure. I get it.
Dude,
sure.
I love that. You know what? I want this to be an ongoing thing at DC where every 7 or 8 months we get a Zatanna miniseries by a new wild creative team.
Yeah.
We had Mariko Tamaki and Marcos Martin. Now we got Jamal Campbell. Like, give me something crazy and fun next, and I will buy the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Like, keep doing this.
I'm becoming a Zatanna fan.
Yeah, like, she doesn't need an ongoing. That's fine. Just keep doing these, like, really fun, creator-driven miniseries, and I'd be happy forever. You will always have my pull for that. Let me talk about this real quick because it's the end of the first arc. DC presents All In Absolute Batman number 6, written by Scott Snyder with art by Nick Dragotta, and I should have grabbed the colorist. I'm so sorry. This is the end of the first arc, the end of the beginning of all things Absolute Batman. All things. He dies. I'm just gonna we're going to spoil it. He's dead.
Alert,
he's dead a lot. He's a lot of dead ski.
He's a lot of dead ski?
Yeah, that's super dead. That's comic book dead.
I see.
There are some genuine revelations in this book or plot twists that I did not see coming.
Huh.
Nick Dragotta is still crushing it with his style of just like multi-panel, aggressive, in-your-face kind of pacing that is perfectly interrupted by brutal one-page layouts.
Splashes?
Yeah, like there's a fight scene between Bruce and the Black Mask that you feel the beats. And it's just really well done. This is all really, really well done. I think the end of this first arc is pretty satisfying. There are some things that transpire in here that I changed the dynamic of the entire cast.
Whoa, all right.
Which reading it, I didn't know how to feel, and that's probably a good thing.
Yes.
This is very different from Absolute Flash that we read before. That feels like I know where it's going. I have no idea what's going to happen in each issue of this book, and that's what feels, air quotes, absolute to me so far.
Yeah.
Because like Superman and Wonder Woman in this, I have no idea what they're going to do next.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of I think that's the tone or that's the vibe of Absolute Comics so far. I have no idea what you're going to do next.
Yeah.
And that's in here.
Nice.
This is the really, really good first arc.
I'm 2 or 3 behind. And I just got to sit down. Same
2.
thing with the next book.
Number 4 was the last one you read.
Oh, okay.
With Gabriel Walta with the bridge.
Yeah.
5 and 6 are the only ones you haven't read. Yeah. But let's talk about.
Well, here, just jump right on that since I queued you up. Go for it.
Sure? Yeah. G.I. Joe number 5, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Tom Riley and Jody Belair.
How's that Tom Riley?
Still good.
Yeah.
Unlike with Duke, with Duke it was a very bright book. This is a little looser. He uses a lot of like gel lighting and oversaturation in colors, which does allow him to remove backgrounds a lot.
Oh, okay.
So like you get fight sequences that are just like against colored backdrops, which really works for motion, but it's also like, I see what you're doing. You got a schedule.
Yeah.
Which is fun. You know, when they hide the seams this well, it's totally great. And then, you've got a page like that where it's just like, it's incredibly evocative and great, but it's also like, I got you. I see what you're doing. It's a beautiful book. I'm still trying to kind of grab onto the characterization of a bunch of these characters. So I do not have a deep bench of G.I. Joe knowledge. I'm kind of, fair weather here and there.
Yeah.
There's this version of Duke is not only reckless, but almost like suicidally so. Is that always what Duke is like?
No.
Yeah, he's like we'll figure it out kind of, but less in a charming way and more of in a desperate way.
Oh, okay.
Which is really interesting to read, but I have no idea if that's akin to another version of the character or because he gets in straight up fistfights with his team members that he doesn't like.
Wow.
Like stuff like that. Like,
okay, that is different.
It's very cool. It's very like macho in a fun way, not in a toxic way.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot. Like this book is a lot in a good way of like I have to listen to this music loud kind of a thing. So like, yeah, I like it. I think this is fish as hell. I might be enjoying this. No, Void Rivals is still my favorite of the Energon universe books. It's tied with Transformers.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm enjoying
Void Rivals at the top, and then these two.
Void Rivals is crushing it, and people that aren't talking about it just hurt my soul. It is such a good book.
I gotta catch up.
It's such a stupid good book.
On all these books.
But yeah, G.I. Joe is still cranking. And I think the next issue is the end of the first arc, and they're going to have a fill-in artist for a little bit. I forgot who it was, but I mean, all these books have had wonderful artists and doing well. So yeah, fresh AF. If you're on the G.I. Joe train, it's going to keep chugging along.
I am on the G.I. Joe train, but I've only read the first issue or maybe second issue of G.I. Joe. I really want to catch up on all the Energon stuff. God damn.
I'm still wondering. I'm wondering about the how this all went down in regards to their choosing which, like, the publication schedule. They did 4 miniseries, and so far 3 of those miniseries kind of make sense narratively to build this book, but then Scarlet is just somewhere else, somewhere out there. I don't know.
Maybe she'll be in. So she isn't in this book, is what you mean?
No.
Oh.
But I'm trying to think if, other than, no, I guess they do kind of work. Like, I wish I just had a G.I. Joe book on issue 20 at this point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I can understand.
I'm not exactly sure.
Why?
It was really great to see, like, the Duke one A+ all the way through. Fantastic. Yeah. Both the Destro and the Cobra one were, like, really good for a bit, and then they rushed to the end to get them to where they wanted to be at the beginning of the G.I. Joe book.
Yeah.
And the Scarlet one just seems like it was out in the ether with the Arashikage clan, and has no bearing about this stuff at all.
I'm wondering if that'll be.
We'll see. I'm sure.
Storyline 2.
I'm sure somewhere along the lines. It's just it felt like those books were plotting towards the start when maybe we could have just fucking gone, you know, and then or simultaneously did them. I don't know. Either way, this is cool. Issue 5, but really it's like issue 25.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you got over there?
One World Under Doom, #2 by Ryan North and R.B. Silva, and my buddy Ben Harvey painting the covers. So this book is extremely interesting.
Yeah.
Issue 1 was good. Issue 2 is fantastic.
Oh, thank God.
The conversations, there's very text heavy. There's a lot of conversing going on, as well as some
people be talking.
Big things happening. But really the strength of this book lies in the conversations between Valeria and Doom.
Nice.
The cool thing, there's nothing about Doom that makes you go, I can trust that guy. No. There's no conversation he can have that's going to be like, he's on the up and up. Except for when he's talking to his niece, Valeria. They don't lie to each other. They tell each other the truth, no matter how that lands, which is impressive when you hear the way, in the years past, the way that Valeria has talked to Doom. Mm-hmm. She's the only one who can talk to Doom the way she does that. So the fact that whatever he's saying to her, it kind of lets you go, okay, maybe this is kind of on the up and up what he's telling her, because they don't lie to each other. But it's also in the same way he didn't lie to Doctor Strange, telling him, oh, I'll give up the powers when I'm done saving the world. Mm-hmm. So that sort of thing. But it's just incredibly interesting. The work that it does to try to put certain recent events into light and maybe how we got there is very interesting. Talking to the man on the street in regards to what Doom has been doing. Mm-hmm. Very well done. This book is bonkers good. I'm really enjoying this a lot. Great. And R.B. Silva can do no wrong. He's killing it. I assume it's a he, but awesome. Awesome stuff. Highly recommend. This was fresh AF for me.
Reginald Belvedere Silva.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah.
Or Regina Bushkill.
Belvedere.
Belvedere.
It's always Belvedere.
Yeah, it's always Belvedere.
So yeah, man. You were trying to cram it in before the show, and you're like, stopped. You know what? I don't want to rush this. And
3 pages in.
I approve.
3 pages in, the Fantastic Four are having a philosophical conversation about how to thwart Doom while at the same time saving a bunch of people off a bridge. I was like, this is a lot. I'm not going to rush this book. Yeah.
This is a sit down and enjoy.
I abstain. Yeah.
Soak in it.
And I did have I liked the first issue enough, but you saying that this one kind of really ramps it up and is basically the thesis of the story. I'm down. I'm super excited. Yeah.
Are we going to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's end with Wars
of the Bugs.
Bug Wars #2, written by Jason Aaron with art by Mahmoud Asrar, Matthew Wilson, and Becca Carey.
Oh God, I hate whatever's happening. This is #2. Did we say that?
And we're back. Yeah, this is #2. Did you like the first issue? We talked about the first issue. What's up?
I really did. So anyone who doesn't know, Jason Aaron is writing a passion project. basically the house in this story is his house growing up in Alabama-ish, and big open yard where he used to play in. And this book is what's it? John Carter of Mars meets Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Basically.
If I look
with a little
this,
soupçon of Conan.
Yeah. Oh, yes, for sure. For sure. So, yeah, there are all these warring sects.
SECTS.
Yes. In this kid's yard. And he gets shrunken down by an amulet and gives him superpowers occasionally.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes. And it's really, really good. Literally, my only problem with it is it's bugs.
You don't like bugs?
It's a lot of bugs. It's hard to take it super seriously, as opposed to being like John Carter of Mars. He's on another world with aliens, and it's like, these are aliens, sort of, but they're just bugs. They're bug people.
This is so I enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's good,
but I still struggle with who the fuck is this for?
Right?
Because it is whimsical in plot.
Yeah,
but
the
it is
idea of it
hardcore in execution.
Yes,
like
it's rated R.
Very violent, incredibly vulgar. Like this is a 14-year-old's edgelord fever dream of a book of like, I love bugs and I love saying the F word and then ripping limbs off.
Yeah, let's go.
But it's done by a 30-year veteran writer, and it's just done well. So like, I think this is just for us
and him.
Kids that squished bugs when they were little.
Oh, I never squished.
Neither
bugs.
did I. But still, just like, what's going on with this?
Yeah, there were kids who would take lightning bugs and they would smush it and make their guts into like a ring on their finger so that they had a glowing ring at night. And like, I fucking hate this. That's
disgusting.
Horrible.
I mean, I've killed one on the deck before, and that gets smeared in glow. But put it on you. That's gross.
That's real. Yeah. And I'm one of those people who's like, if I have to smush a bug, I'm kind of like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's no, I don't take pleasure in it, but I also I'm not gonna go out of my way to rehome a spider in another house. Like,
gotcha. Yeah. In another.
Bye.
I like to mail it to people.
You're good.
I'll put it in an envelope.
You're like, hey, I hope you got what you wanted.
So, this is good though.
Yeah, this is great. It's just I enjoy the book, and then I'm like, who do I recommend this to?
Right.
Only my sick friends.
Yeah.
Like I will recommend this to Alice.
Hey, if you're out there and you're a Conan fan or a John Carter of Mars fan, read this book and let us know. Is this book for you? Is this hitting that?
This is very
what is that?
It's very
is
warrior coded.
Fantasy?
It's sci-fi.
Warrior?
It's fantasy. But the thing is, this is a fantasy book. It's all fucking magic.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yes.
So yes, this has the sword and sandal kind of fantasy, but through the prism of bugs.
Yeah.
And a kid shrunken with bugs.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I love this reveal at the end here.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
His
reveal.
older brother.
But
this is great.
So when the boy gets there, he's got superhuman strength.
Yeah.
I personally thought that was going to be density.
Right.
Because just like with Ant-Man, when he shrinks down, he's got proportionate strength.
That's
so
what
I was just
too.
like, oh, cool. But they make it magic, and I'm like, okay, so I thought the other way was cooler, but this at least gives you plot reasons to weaken him in moments. So I'm like, okay, I get it, Jason Aaron, fine. Either way, it would have been cool to have like a 13-year-old wrecking shit.
Yeah. Yeah, just punching his way through everyone's face.
Like, I want to punch you through the face.
That's another element. This is Gladiator. This is a Gladiator book.
Oh, yeah. They're all
Issue
slaves.
2 is a Gladiator. Yep.
This is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is cool.
This book's for me.
Basically, like that's my quandary. This book's for me. Not sure who else?
Yeah.
but I'm enjoying it.
That's okay. Here's the funny thing. I am not a John Carter of Mars guy. I am not a Conan guy. So I'm not into the sword and sandal sorcery type book. But he's doing it so well here that this is for me.
Did you read his Conan series?
I have it upstairs.
It's
I have the
really
hardcover.
good.
I read the first couple of issues and I was like, oh, this is really solid. And then I don't care enough about Conan.
I didn't either, but I followed through with it, and I tried reading Conan after that, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very accessible the way he does these like prosy things. Not unlike with Thor. Both of us usually reject Thor speak, but for some reason Jason Aaron's kind of like handle of it just makes it work. Yeah. Yeah, this book is awesome.
There's a terrible scene in here with mosquitoes. I hate it.
Well, mosquitoes are the worst.
I got a chill just looking at this page. There's a sequence in the It novel involving like giant mosquitoes.
Like these?
I hate it. Gianter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, mosquitoes.
Like what's it? Is the proboscis?
What's the
stabby boys?
dialogue in this is just it's so horrible.
Yeah.
When it comes to the animal on the face of the earth that kills more people than any other, it's not a particularly close contest. There's only one creature alive that kills humans even more than other humans do, to the tune of 1 million a year. Oh, fucking hell. Mosquitoes. This book is dope.
It's so good. It's so good.
I think more than we talk about it, the more I enjoy it.
Did you read the back matter?
No, I didn't get a chance to this time.
So the back matter in this one is...
This even has you back mattering?
The good back mattering, yeah. Journal of Professor James Slaymaker. First of all, what's this kid's name?
Slade Slaymaker.
Slade Slaymaker. Fuck out of here. So yeah, this is basically, quote unquote, handwritten notes that his dad, James, who we found dead in the first issue, has been keeping tabs on these different sects. And this is all about the Beetle Riders.
Oh, that's cool.
It's
I got to go back and read this. Do you think that his father was a political assassination?
Maybe.
That would be cool.
Yeah. But that was a gross page too.
Yeah.
It's very violent. This
is a very violent book.
Check it out. Let us know if you're enjoying it. Email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com. Also, let us know what your favorite book of this week was.
Is there anything else you're looking forward to this week?
Man, I'm going to catch up on Energon. I'm going to catch up on G.I. Joe, Void Rivals. I'm going to catch up on Batman Absolute.
If you did it in any kind of order, I would say just for the purposes of the shop, catch up on Absolute Batman. It seems like that's the conversation with everybody, especially now that it's the last of the arc. I'm excited about Avengers. And
I'm excited for Eddie Brock Carnage.
Oh, that came out this week?
Yeah.
You didn't read it?
No, I was gonna. Listen, I had to reread a book that came out 3 years ago to read the second issue this week. Hang on. So.
Did you?
I did. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Did you have to, though?
Yes.
These are all optional. No one's tying you down.
I'm tying me down.
I'm not going to read something I want to and read something I'm maybe could. Oh, yeah, Doom comes out. The Treasury edition of Doom.
That came out last year.
Sanford Green and Jonathan Hickman. I actually just got this graded.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, baby.
Nice.
Man, Treasury editions are dope. Oh, there's sketches in here.
Right? A lot of matter in there.
I don't want this.
You're gonna get it.
What's interesting about this? So Doom is a what was it? A 80-page one shot. It's in here with a lot of process pages, but then they grabbed one issue of Hickman's Hickman's Fantastic Four to put in the back, and then another issue of Sanford Green doing the Runaways that featured Doom in the back.
Oh, that's cool.
I guess, but they're like issues 1 of something. Like it's the secret. I wish they would have put the whole like Secret Wars miniseries in here by Sanford Green, because Valeria is a big deal in it and stuff. But no, this is. I mean, all Treasury editions are cool. Even the ones that I don't want to get are cool. There's one coming up of I think it's Darth Maul, Red, White, and Blood.
Yes, Black, White, and Blood.
I have absolutely no interest in reading any of that.
Yeah, you're gonna get it.
But I'm probably gonna get it.
Yeah,
because
I always order an extra Treasury edition into the shop because I'm like, Noel's gonna want this.
I hate everything about this.
It's so good.
It's in my hands. Look at it. Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, email us cultpopgo@gmail.com. Join us live every Wednesday night on Facebook, YouTube, everywhere you see the live streams, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. This week, we're going to talk about Twilight.
New Moon.
New Moon.
Yeah,
I didn't know if there was another. Twilight 2, Electric Boogaloo Moon. Electric
Boogamoon.
Boo-Boo Moon.
That's what we're doing.
Just join us there.
All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later.
Skloo-doo-doo.
Dee-dee-dee-doo.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.